Hello everyone, welcome to Green Corner. My name is DeWitt Taylor. I'm your co-host.
Hello, welcome to Community Corner. My name is Mr. Ryan Nicholas Gray, your co-host. David, will you please ask Mr. Kendziorski the first question, please?
Alright, hold on please.
Okay.
Our guest today is Tom Kendziorski. He's the Executive Director, Attorney at Law for the Ark of Community County. This organization helps people with disabilities of all kinds. I am a member and I appreciate their help. In this season of giving and helping, we are so happy to welcome you, Tom, to discuss what ARK does in giving. Tom, please tell us about your family and your life growing up.
My family, well, we have 6 boys all together, so I have 5 brothers, of course mom and dad. 3 of my brothers have developmental disabilities and live in the area, and 2 don't. And 1 lives in Troy and 1 lives in Cadillac. So that's my immediate family. Growing up, we lived in Royal Oak, went to Dunn High School, graduated from there in 1972, and what else about my family?
What are your mom and dad's names?
My dad's name is John, and my mom's name was Evelyn. Both of them are deceased right now, so.
So sorry to hear that.
We're so very sorry to hear that.
Not a problem.
Ryan?
Thank you, David. Tom, as you were growing up, what activities did you choose?
Well, other than going to school, I was involved in band, played clarinet. In high school, I was in the marching band and also student manager for baseball and basketball, so I was kept quite busy.
David, you have a question for
Yes, I
Tom?
do, Ryan. What were your dreams for a career?
Well, my major dream, obviously, it's come true, but since the 6th grade, I always wanted to be a lawyer. And I didn't know what actually went into all that thinking, but I just kept thinking about that, having that dream, that vision, and pursued it. Found out what it took to be a lawyer, and got the education, passed the bar exam, and here I am 25 years later.
Well, congratulations on your dream. Ryan?
Thank you, David. Tom, as your career dreams developed, how did you choose a college to attend?
Well, in college, I was a political science major in economics and that sort of thing, always knowing I'd go to law school. It certainly happened that way. But as a lawyer, I had opportunities to work in the private bar, meaning be an attorney, everyday type lawyer, or a corporate lawyer, or work in the field that I'm in right now, and that's developmental disabilities law. And the ARK was an organization at the time that said, we can offer you a job, and I took it. And here I am, 26 years, I've been at the ARK of Oakland County.
Congratulations.
David?
And Ryan, please share your college studies and activities with us, Tom.
College studies and activities, nothing that stands out other than finishing my degree in 1979, Bachelor of Science. Then I entered law school, Thomas Cooley Law School in Lansing, graduated there in 1982. All the while, I've been a Navy reservist. I joined the Navy in 1972, right out of high school, and spent approximately 3 years on active duty, and then got out, went to Michigan State University for college, and then law school after that. But I've been drilling ever since. I'm still in the Navy Reserve, and right now I'm a Rear Admiral.
Wow, that's very interesting. Ryan?
Thank you, David. Now, Tom, when did you finally decide to practice law?
Like I said, 6th grade is when I thought about it and said, well, this sounds a little cool, so I'll keep pursuing it. But it really wasn't until college, and then I said, okay, my grades are all right. I took the law school aptitude test and did all right there, so probably 2nd year or so of college, it became more of a reality.
David, you have a question for our
Yes,
guest,
I do,
Tom?
Ryan. When you passed the Michigan bar, what type of law did you plan to practice?
I've always wanted to be a general practitioner, have my own office, my own practice. Did not work out that way, and in law school they kind of tell you eventually find which area is more important than another for your individual person. I always, of course, knew about disability law and Social Security, special education, that sort of thing, which really wasn't taught in law school. It wasn't until I got out, got a job, and started working in it and learning more about what it was all about. So that's how I came to be where I am today.
Ryan, question, sir?
Thank you, David. Now, Tom, please explain what the letters ARC stand for. And if so, we can understand this organization.
Well, the ARC, we've had that particular name. We're a local chapter of a state and national organization.
Okay.
We're a nonprofit charity. And up until 15 years ago, so that's been quite a while, up until 15 years ago, our name was the Association for Retarded Citizens. And back then, we just didn't want to use that word any longer, any more than we had to. So the name is the ARC, and then Oakland County being the local chapter. We have other local chapters in Michigan. There's the state ARC of Michigan, and then the ARC of the United States, which is located in Maryland, the headquarters. So we represent people with developmental disabilities, not just mental retardation, but also autism, cerebral palsy, epilepsy, and related disability categories.
David?
This is Ryan. Tom, tell us about your job search and how you ended up working with the ARC.
Yeah, again, I ended up, it's not all that dramatic. The job market wasn't all that great in the early 80s, kind of like it is now. I sent out a lot of resumes, and one that came back says, yes, we'll offer you a job, was the ARC of Oakland County. I always thought I'd use it as a stepping stone to other things, but it just didn't work out that way. But I've come to love it. I've come to love to work not only with the people, the families that I deal with, or have dealt with, but also the issues. I like being one of one. There's not a whole lot of people that do what I do in terms of Social Security, disability law, special education law, and wills and trusts, guardianship, power of attorneys, how to plan your estate, after you're deceased, how do you leave money to your sons or daughters, and then information referral and doing awareness about the disabilities, and fundraising. Now, that seems to be the hardest thing I have to do is fundraise.
Ryan?
Thank you, David. Tom, what types of staff does the ARC have to help people?
Well, we have 8 staff members altogether, myself and 7 others, and we have a variety of tasks that we do. There's 2 lawyers, or there's 2 advocates. We deal with community relations and awareness, as well as office manager type jobs, and fiscal intermediary. That's where we have a contract with the Macomb-Oakland Regional Center to help people with disabilities who live in the community pay their staff and take care of business. But otherwise, we try to set up other organizations, other things like recreation. We have bowling, we have a dance, we have a Weight Watchers program at the Troy Community Center. We try to be as all-inclusive as we can and know as much as we can, and to help people who call.
David?
And Ryan, please explain what the ARC does for people with challenges and disabilities, and why.
Yeah, in more detail, folks with disabilities who are in one area may be denied benefits for supplemental security income or Social Security disability, and they need a lawyer to help them with that process. That's where we come in. We don't charge for our services. If we win, we will go after some attorney fees, but if we lose, we don't charge people. So in special education law, the same thing. There's not a lot of private lawyers who do daily special education law, so we like to be that to the community. And wills and trusts, another specialty area that's not widely known among attorneys, the estate planning for families who have disabled children, and those are the 3 legal areas that we get in. We're not criminal attorneys, we're not real estate attorneys, but those are the 3 areas we deal with.
I was wondering if you could hook up our floor director into your program.
How to do that? Well, in Troy is our office, 248-816-1900, and it's a matter of calling, setting up an appointment, and be glad to meet.
Okay, Ryan?
Thank you, David. Now, Tom, please explain what the challenges you had with some of your brothers.
Well, my brothers, they are my brothers, and like any other brothers, we grew up together, fought together, loved together, you know, that kind of thing. Bill is, I'm in the middle of the six, if there is such a thing as a middle of an even number. Bill is older than me. I probably shouldn't say how old he is. Bill and Mike are older, and I'm then next, and then there's John, and then Bob and Ray. Bob and Ray are twins, so they're in their late 40s, and I almost said their age, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
They're in their late 40s and doing quite well. Each of them lives in a group home, one in Ortonville and another in northern Macomb County in Armada. And Bill lives in Royal Oak.
I had 2 questions for Ryan.
David?
What is your role in helping your brothers? And also, are you a good role model?
Well, I think if you're going to say role, my first role would be to be a brother to each of them. But legally speaking, I am legal guardian over each, so I'm able to help them with their rights and make decisions for them where they can't make them for themselves.
Can you explain it to me more differently? Because I don't understand what a guardian is.
Well, as a guardian, the court removes rights from somebody and provides them to someone else, so I use each of my brother's rights on their behalf. In areas, say like medical, I can sign forms to allow them to get dental help or medical help or admissions to a hospital, that sort of thing. I also help them with their money decisions, where to live, that sort of thing.
Well, for instance, Ryan,
Tom, are you able to speak at meetings and conferences?
All the time. Conferences, not so much. I've done that in the past. But usually once or twice a month, I'm at a school in the evening. A parents group invites me or some other group invites me to come out and talk about wills and trusts and how to plan the estate. I have PowerPoint slides and my laptop projector and a projector along with my laptop. So I give that training to individuals, and I can do that on guardianship. I can also do that on other benefit areas.
Yeah, question. You know, if one of the parents, they're so how does someone set up a will? You know, for
Setting up a
example.
will. I'm sorry.
Set up a will for example.
Well, setting up a will is really not that difficult.
It's not?
Well, difficult in the sense of essentially what you're doing is you're saying, okay, I want all my stuff to go to someone else, and it's just a matter of writing all that down on paper. The lawyer has essentially a form, but adapts that form to your particular needs, what you want to do, who you want it to go to. If you don't make a will, then state law is going to make one for you, and of course you're not any longer here, so you won't have a say in where your things go, but the state will make one for you. But a will is your way of saying all my things, all my worldly goods go to, and then you list off who it goes to.
All right.
okay, I had 2 words and 2 different questions.
All right?
The first question is, do you belong to another organizations that work with the disabled population?
I do. One of them is the Knights of Columbus. I'm a member of Knights of Columbus, Bishop Gallagher in Royal Oak, and one of the main charters of that particular group is to raise funds for people with disabilities, in particular the Tootsie Roll Drive in the springtime. So I'm a member there.
Can you name what types of them?
What types of organizations you mean?
Yes.
Well, the Knights of Columbus is the organization. I also belong to the Veterans of Foreign Wars. I belong to alumni groups. But I'm most active in the Knights of Columbus.
How did you get started in this?
About 7, 8 years ago, someone said, would you like to join? And the rest, you go through the process and become a member. But becoming an active member, just like in the Ark, we have members as well, whether you're active or not, counts. We need a lot of volunteers in the Ark as well as the Knights of Columbus. It's not easy collecting money during the Tootsie Roll Drive in the spring.
Ryan, got a question?
Yes, I do. Tom, do you serve on any county or state committees? And please tell us.
What kind of committees I'm on?
Yeah.
Well, I'm on a committee at the county level, or the ARC is on various committees as well. Whether I go or one of my staff goes, we're always trying to be in support of the community at large. Oakland County Community Mental Health Authority, has various committees that it uses. Macomb Oakland Regional Center, the same thing. Guardianship committees, and also we have the Oakland County Regional Interagency Coordinating Committee for Developmental Disabilities. So there's a lot of different committees that the ARC and my staff, myself, are a part of.
Do you have a question?
Yes, I do, Ryan. Tell us about your work with the government to change laws about the disabled.
Well, part of what I do and my colleagues in other ARCs, what we do, and particularly what I get involved in, is the local level or the county level through our Oakland County Commission or Community Mental Health Authority. A lot of time resolutions or issues come up there, and I will deal directly. But the ARC Michigan, our state office, through the local supports, will deal with legislative issues in the Senate, the representatives in the governor's office, and then we have our national organization in Silver Springs, Maryland, and a governmental affairs office in Washington, D.C. that deals with the federal issues. They're lobbyists. I'm not a lobbyist, but we have lobbyists on the state and federal level.
Ryan?
Thank you. Tom, tell us about the changes over the years in regards of laws for the disabled.
I'll name a couple of them. One in particular is special education law. Back in the early 70s, due to a lot of lawsuits in the 60s of parents wanting education for their sons or daughters, that all led to federal legislation, state and federal legislation, that mandated special education. So that particular law was a watershed piece of legislation that changed the way we educate folks with disabilities. Another would be the way in which we take care of or house people with disabilities. Prior to the 70s, again, that was a very good decade for this sort of change, but prior to that, we had state-run institutions in Michigan, essentially warehouses for people with disabilities, which they had no future, no nothing. But since then, we've gone away from institutions into the community-based model where we have group homes and apartments and supported living and supported vocational programs and employment.
You have a question about
Do you write articles about the work of the ARC?
I'll ask you to repeat that if you would, please.
Do you write articles about the work of the ARC?
I do. I write many articles, not just for our own newsletter, and if I can show, the profiles is our standard newsletter, and I'll write my normal column along the side, trying to deal with the issue topic of the month. But we also have great information about what's going on within the community, within the county, as it relates to people with disabilities. But I also write articles. I write a tax guide every year. Income tax guide comes out February 1st. I write website articles, as well as I've written booklets and articles for other organizations as well. And by the way, we do have a website. It's www.thearkoakland.org, THEARC Oakland.org.
Yeah, I have a question. Andrew, I got my Dove Award that I have
You did.
right here. Did you write the article about me?
Well, we wrote an article about you. We've wrote articles about other people as well, but we have our Dove Awards every March or April, and the awards are given in recognition for people and individuals who demonstrate leadership, who do wonderful things on behalf of people with disabilities. Well, that is a Sheldon Dunn Inspiration Award, and it was a couple years ago, 2006.
That's
And
2 years ago.
How many people were there?
Lots.
A lot. We usually have about 400 or so
And
people.
I got this when I was sitting there waiting to hear my name to be announced. I heard Edwards introducing me.
Art Edwards,
Yeah.
formerly of Channel 4, right?
Formerly of WDIV, Local 4.
And now he's out in, I believe, Portland, Oregon.
I miss Art.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
I really like Art. Art, he was nice. I like him a lot.
Now, I have a question for you.
All right.
How is the ARC funded?
Okay, I get that question every time. ARC is, we are a United Way organization. We receive some of our fundings through United Way campaign. We also have a couple of contracts with Oakland County Community Mental Health through Macomb Oakland Regional Center. We are a membership organization, so we charge for memberships. We have the largest membership in the state, and we're out of 800 chapters nationwide, we're the 10th largest in the country, so we have a lot of members, about 900. We have donations, and that's it. I raise funds through an annual running. Typically, it's a marathon. I say, hey, the old fat guy's running money, the old fat guy's running a marathon. Come on, send some money, and people do.
Mommy, on that movie, One Fat Boy One. Why have a question?
So, tell us, does the Ark accept donations from anyone?
We absolutely accept donations. We are an IRS for 501c3 organization, so we're a charity recognized by the state. We have a membership envelope. We have our annual holiday appeal, which is sent out to our members and say, you know, if you want a tax-deductible donation, send it to us. Our books are open. We comply with all the various regulations, but we use all that money towards the work of advocacy, which is what our office does.
This question will bow your head, Tom. You have lots of marathons raising money for the Ark. Please tell us more about that, please.
I've been running Chicago Marathon for the past 7 years. I did not run this year, but I've ran 7 Chicago Marathons, and again, I send out a letter and say, okay, send money. I'm running a marathon, so people sponsor me. And I ran a half marathon. I ran a half marathon this year, Brooksy's Way Run out in Oakland County, first annual, and raise about $12,000 to $14,000 a year.
I'm one of those people, Ryan.
You are,
Really?
and you've helped raise over $100,000.
Yes, I have.
I'll do all the hard work. You can just send in the check. That's
That's
fine.
it, Tom. I have a question, Sue.
Tom, please tell us about the Ark's yearly award ceremony, because every year, my friend David got a Doomsday Award. I didn't get to come to last year's award. I never got to come.
I'm sorry, Ryan. I didn't mean to invite you.
Well, the Dove Awards, it's an annual event, and we do have a silent auction with it as well. But
Okay.
we give about 23, 25 awards out to community, again, folks in the community who do great work. It's at the Troy-based San Marino Club, and coat and tie, sit-down dinner, all that, some music, and we have a guest speaker, not Art Edwards anymore, too far for him to come.
Just so
But it's a wonderful evening, and it helps us raise funds, too. It's sponsored by a lot of community organizations and individuals.
I'm a final question, Ryan.
All right.
Would you like to say anything more about with our audience that you have not already covered?
Well, sharing with an audience, it's just to make sure that people provide opportunities to individuals with disabilities, all sorts of disabilities. People with disabilities can work. They have many talents, many skills, many capacities, and certainly can work at if you give them a chance. And that's what I always try to keep in mind as I go to work every day.
Tom, one question before we close our show.
All right.
How do you suggest people listening advocate for the rights of the disabled?
Well, you can certainly advocate through the ARC, become one of our volunteers, and we have many jobs throughout the year. But also there are other organizations. There's United Cerebral Palsy Association, there's the Autism Society, there's many, many different groups that have opportunities depending on what your specialties are. So if you could ask us, I'll be glad to send you on to them.
It's kind of part of the show again. Favorite things time.
That's right, Ryan. I have a question for you, Tom.
All right.
What is your favorite pop?
Favorite pop, Diet Coke.
Mine is Diet and Wiggle.
Mine is Diet Coke and caffeine-free Diet Coke.
I'll throw a Coke Zero in there once in a
Hey,
while.
Tom,
It's
so do you have a new show you watch on TV?
I hate to say it, Dancing with the Stars.
My favorite show is NCIS.
Mine is
All right.
Swimming, Full House, and Shape of the Bell.
Today is Veterans Day, and Veterans Day is a day we honor those who fought in the World War. And Tom is a veteran. Tom, so tell us. How did you get involved with Veterans Day?
Well, I enlisted out of high school into the Navy and
Okay.
did all my training and ended up stationed out on a ship in the Gulf of Tonkin off Vietnam. So I am a Vietnam veteran. Spent about 3 years on active duty, but all this time, 36 years, I've been in the reserve, and I'm currently still serving. And I serve, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a Rear Admiral in the U.S. Navy.
That must be scary for you over there in Vietnam. All the bombs going off, all the things
Scary.
scaring. Was it
Scary
scary?
is a
How
relative.
loud was the bombs?
Scary is a relative word. I wasn't near any bombs, so I didn't have
good.
to worry about that.
How
good.
loud were they?
Loud.
They weren't falling around me. Okay, but on Veterans Day, and I'm pleased and honored that you've had me today on the show. But it is a wonderful day to honor all of our veterans.
Including
Dead or
my
alive.
mom's brother, my uncle today.
There you go.
And my Grandpa Gray. You all remember.
I love you, Uncle.
I love your Grandpa Gray. I love you both. I love you both. I love you both. I love you,
But
Uncle.
down here, he will
Remember, people, it's important. Today's Veterans Day. Please honor your veterans.
And-
Whether World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War, the Korean War, any war they were in,
any war, including the
please
Cold
honor
War.
them. Please honor them, because today is a special day to tell these people thank you very much. They've done for this great
If
country of the
you're not
United States of
familiar,
America.
Please, we'll put the colors on the both flags.
Now, these flags represent the most important symbol of freedom in America. Freedom is the most important word anyone can ever say about anyone.
Because this flag was founded behind me
By our
back in
founding
Georgia,
forefathers.
the infamous war.
That's right, by our forefathers. They'll give their lives to this great American country.
On this day, I recommend these two movies, Nicolas Cage in National Treasure and its sequel, National Treasure 2, The Book of Secrets. Please watch those.
I recommend you watch Apocalypse Now, which is a great movie, and of course, Platoon.
Okay, Ryan, please close. I'll answer me.
All right? We would like to thank you for your dedication in working with people with special needs. My name is Mr. Ryan Nicholas Gray. Thank you for joining us today. David?
It takes a very special person to all that you have done. Thank you again, Mr. Kendziorski. My name is David DeWitt Taylor. Thank you for joining us today. And our guest, Tom, thank you for coming. Our
Thanks for coming,
board director,
Aaron
Connie Castle.
And people, and remember today is Veterans Day. And
This
remember,
is Community Corner, and please go out and honor your veterans.
honor them.
I'm David Taylor. See you guys in December.
See you guys in December on Veterans Day.